Hey, I'm Kate.
And I'm Rachel.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is Feast.
Sheath.
And Shatter.
Is it hot in here or is it just me tuning in to hear these three chatting about fantasy novels of the spicy variety? Not your average book club, if you know what I mean. Are you happy to see us? Or is that a dagger? It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter. It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter.
That went way better that time.
Wow. That was great.
You remembered your own name.
You knew who you were.
What I was supposed to say.
Which word was yours.
Yeah. So
That
this
was
is
great.
the Dark Night of the Soul for Lara.
Yeah.
This is The Traitor Queen, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
By Danielle Jensen.
Yeah.
This is the sequel to The Bridge Kingdom, which we talked about last time.
And this is the book that wraps up Aaron and Lara's story.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it does continue with, is it just 2 more books? But it's a different couple.
Yeah, it's who we meet in this story. The third and the fourth book are Karis, who is Lara's full-blooded brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They say that in this
Yes.
book?
Yeah, they do. Full
Yeah.
blood.
Okay,
That's
full-blooded, like mom.
Aaron finds out and he
And-
tells Laura. So everyone knows in this book.
Yeah.
Right. And then Valcata, or her name's Zara, but she's like the general, and she's set to inherit Valcata
Yeah.
from the Empress. And we see that she's being held, we meet her pretty earlier on. But Aaron's gotten captured.
Yeah, he's out
And
fighting.
Lara's gone
yeah.
away. Like they have a
Lara
falling
left.
out.
She left. He's
He's
in
like
exile.
pointing an
She's
arrow at
rogue.
her and saying, "Run!" At the end of the first book, he's like, "You better go now,
Or I'm gonna
or I'm going to kill you."
yeah.
So she runs, and then
Right.
we
You have
find her.
20 seconds or 20 minutes
Yeah.
from Assassin's Blade. And I gave her 21.
I gave her 21.
Oh yeah.
You don't have a watch.
Yeah.
Were you sitting there counting? Like,
Yeah, she
One,
was.
2. No, it's fine. It's her assassin timetable. She has it in her heart.
I think Fae actually have a clock inside their bodies.
Okay, it's fine. It's right next to their third
So,
clitoris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's fair.
And their snack pouch.
yeah.
Yeah. In my perfect fantasy.
She's drinking whiskey. Like she's pounding whiskey at a bar. And somebody's like, oh, yeah, I heard that the king of
Maradrina.
the king of the Bridge Kingdom. What's the Bridge Kingdom's name?
Valcata.
No.
Herondale.
No.
Nanahela.
Arendale's like their
Oh my
big city.
God.
Wait, don't tell me. It starts with an M. No, it doesn't.
It starts with an I think.
Adriana.
No.
Idris.
We did read this.
Iridescent. No, don't tell me.
Is it Aurelia? No.
Aurelia.
Maybe.
Lunathian.
Arderland.
No, it's
Otterland. Middle Earth.
Ithacana.
Ithacana. Ithacana.
It like Ithaca. Okay.
Ithacana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like the king of Ithacana got caught and he's been like imprisoned. And she's like, oh, hell no, not on my watch.
Oh,
And so she goes
not-
from being drunk to like, she pounds some coffee and she's like, let's go fucking save the king.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she like leaves.
And she was like, I gotta find my sisters.
Yeah.
She heads off on an adventure. And I actually love her sisters. What's this oldest sister's name? Syria? That's Amber's cat. Okay, let me look her name up.
I know one of them's pregnant. There's a lot of
The pregnant one
characters.
is the oldest one.
There's a lot of characters and
Oh.
they all end in ah, like soft ah sounds.
'Cause they're-
Ithaca, Laura, Maradrina.
Yeah, because they're women.
Hannah.
Yeah.
Keita,
Keita.
Anna, Leah.
Rachela.
Rachela.
All of them, like almost all the characters end in the soft ah sound and like places. So after a while, it all just got to be like
Yeah.
blend. It just blended.
Ithacana.
Yeah.
Maradrina.
Yep.
Valencia.
Zara.
Valcata.
Valcata.
Not Arendelle, though. Herondale. That's the
Herondale.
like inside the volcano sea
Yes.
where they all live in secret.
Yep.
So first, first doesn't Laura go back to Ithacana and try to like talk to Anna or whoever, and they like put her in prison?
Yeah. Well, they are like, get out.
Get out. We hate you. All right, sit in prison.
You're the traitor queen. And she's like, yeah, I know. Thank you.
I know, but I have a plan how to get Aaron out. I can do this.
Yeah.
Work with me so we can rescue him, and then you'll never see me again.
Yeah. And they're like, no, fuck you. Go away. That's when she goes to find her sisters.
Yeah.
And the sisters have been betrayed because they were betrayed by Mariella.
Mm-hmm.
Because she ran back and was like, ooh, Dad, I have some tea. And told them all
Oh,
about
Dad, you're not going to believe
You're not
this.
going to believe it. We're not dead.
We're all alive.
Yeah.
What were you looking up?
The words, I mean, the characters' names.
Yeah, there's not a lot. I tried looking it up, I think, and there's not a list.
Yeah, for
Somebody
having
make a
20
dang
sisters.
study
There's
guide.
no Bridge Kingdom wiki.
Dang it.
I know.
I just want to remember the sister's name because she becomes a pretty important character in. Oh, wow. This person said this was 3 out of 5 peppers. Interesting.
That's why peppers are relative.
Yeah, that's
Because
why
I
we
don't think there's any
Bell
there
peppers.
is some spice.
Isn't there like
They have a hate fuck.
mental? Isn't there mental spice in this? Like
Yeah.
where they
Yeah.
remember their
Yeah, or they're picturing themselves being together.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, they have mind's eyes. I don't.
And Aaron saves himself.
Yeah, Aaron does save himself.
Yeah.
He figures that out, which is
And then
nice.
she hooks up with him later. And then hooks up with him later.
There's the mother character for Karis and Laura.
Yeah.
Her name is Cordelia or Cornelia or
Oh, she's the head
Corinna?
Yeah, I think
wife.
it's Corinna or something.
Corinna.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
and
like the head in the harem. She's
and
one
I
of
loved
the-
her protective nature, and I love that. I love how actually you don't learn that to the 3rd book, but she has learned her place really, really well. She runs that castle, and I love that there's this really underlying, just like in the normal world, there is this even in this very patriarchal, male-dominated society, the women are actually doing
doing the work.
all of the work. And they are, because of that, they are super powerful. And if you don't do it, like they could take you down if they wanted to because they have they're like little birds. They're like,
Because she's who gets
secrets.
Aaron out.
yeah,
Because he's like, I heard you haven't enjoyed the scent of the flower deliveries lately.
yeah,
And she's like, yeah, they're not much to my liking. Because everybody who tries to rescue them,
right.
rescue Aaron, they just kill and hang in front of him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is really
Yeah.
brutal.
yeah.
It
Yeah. I
is.
mean, this book is pretty, there's violence. And then the next book, there's even more violent. Like what happens to Zara is really violent. But yeah, violence instead of magic.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
We know how I feel about torture.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
I was
scene
kinda worried
it was
about
all
that.
right.
That's
Because
okay.
it didn't
She's
feel
fine.
superfluous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on how superfluous it feels.
Right.
Like, does it just feel like you're trying to create
it
artificial
like-
conflict? Or
Yeah.
do I believe that this is what would actually be happening right now?
Right. Would you just keep them hanging up in the same room next to each other so they could have their jokes?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be like leaving all the people alive so they can like be like, it's okay, Aaron. We don't mind if this happens to us. You're our king. We love you. And he's
Yeah.
like, thank you for the
You know what you
added
should do?
strength.
Let's eat your hand off.
Yeah. I posted that picture on Instagram. One of my friends was like,
oh, I read it.
I'm sorry, but what the actual fuck?
I read it. It was Meg.
Meg, yeah.
Yeah. Meg's the other podcaster.
Yeah.
Do we get to call her friend? She's actually like one of you.
Yeah.
One of us.
She's in network.
Yeah.
In network.
network.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that conversation go down. We needed to call Rachel. Is her name Megan? Who gave you the runes hand?
Megan.
Megan, you're the best. Thank you. We
Yes.
appreciate you. We didn't say
Thank
that.
you,
And Megan is
Megan.
the best. Megan and I talk on TikTok all the time.
And she listens to all of our
And
episodes.
she sends
so thank
sends
you.
me like the most relevant TikToks. I really enjoy her as a person. So
She's the best.
apologies for not naming it. That was one of the funniest gifts we've ever seen. And you're my number one, Megan.
Yeah.
You're my number one.
Thank
She
you.
really is.
Heart to heart. And she's out in California too. So she's not close by.
Nah. Did she mail the hand?
Yeah.
She sure
Oh.
did.
They like mailed them to each other. Like
Wow.
it's serious.
Like I opened the box took off the first layer of tissue paper
And
and,
there
There was a hand.
screamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
The funniest.
It
and
was
she
so
adds
funny.
hand
another
painted
layer.
it. You know, she's
Yeah.
like guessing what kind of tattoos he's had. I
Yeah.
think she did a great job.
She's so
She wrote
crafty.
star on the fingers.
yeah, and
Yeah.
creative. And I can feel her passion for these
Yeah.
stories. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
So, but
There's a lot of fighting in this one. It felt a lot like what I think Sarah J. Maas wanted Flame and Shadow to be, which was relentless.
oh sure.
But we did get moments. Like we got a moment of pause in the moment, so it didn't feel like someone hit the fast forward button and
Yeah.
then forgot to hit pause.
Right.
Mhm.
Because they even stop and they have a moment later after Aaron and Laura get back together. And it's after one of the big battles where they have sex so loud like everybody can hear it. And he's like, no, we were just in there. And they're like, no, we all know what you did. And he's like, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. And that's
I
when
couldn't
they
help
leave her.
myself. And that's
Yeah.
when they leave her ass.
They
on the
leave her
island.
ass. Yeah.
Okay, but before that,
Okay.
she does rescue him from the castle.
I thought the scene with the sisters was super fun.
It was
Yeah.
fun, right?
I really like that,
That was
scene.
the
I looked,
the heist scene.
yeah, it looked, I
That
love a
was
heist.
good.
I love a well planned heist, and I liked that part.
Yeah,
I
it was the
enjoyed-
dance. It was the same like we're all dancing.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Aelin dressed up as a ballerina.
Yeah. Throwing gunpowder on
Yeah.
the ground.
Yeah, casually gender bending as she goes along.
No, I'm a boy.
Now I'm
and
a
now I'm
boy.
a girl.
Now I'm a girl. Yeah. So I thought that part was really cool. I love the fact that like the dad wasn't paying attention to the harem again.
Yeah.
And it's like
Again.
all of a sudden, but there is a moment, and so we get that whole scene from Karis and Zara's point of view later in their books, and
cool.
she noticed right away that those women were like American gladiators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were muscly,
Yeah.
like athletes. She's like, why are these women so strong? So buff. They're so buff. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then they didn't, she didn't get to kill her dad then. But he was so surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, so they escape with him. And we do find out that Nana did her own undercover operation in
And
that
Nana was a part of the harem.
Yeah, she was part of the harem.
I'm surprised that there wasn't a child from that.
I know.
Yeah. I was expecting there to be like
Well,
a Dune moment where
Yeah.
it's like he is Arn's.
Knowing Nana, she
grandfather,
probably
and they're
had her own
actually cousins.
concoction. She was taking her
She
tea.
said sometimes you have to close your eyes and think of Ithacana.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah, you got to take
Wow.
one for the team. You got to use that
Wow.
the
Yeah.
power.
Yeah.
Power of the babe.
So I thought that was cool. But then, all of these women are working together.
Yeah. And the sisters come back pretty. When she goes to meet her sisters, I love that, like, she does get this moment where her older sister has, like, fallen in love with
Yeah.
this, like, woodcutter. And he's so handsome and tall in
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah.
And
He
she's
is.
pregnant and deaf.
Yeah.
He's deaf.
Isn't he deaf?
He's
Yes.
deaf. Yeah.
I don't even want to tell you what happens in the future,
Okay.
but it's cool. You should read it.
Okay, I
when
will.
when you have your month off.
When I have time.
Yeah. But
Fine, just put it on 3 times and they're all 4 hours long.
Great.
yeah.
I don't know how you can understand anything.
Yeah, I can't.
I had to work up to it, but yeah.
Yeah, you have to ease it in.
Yeah.
So my
Much like a. Never
yeah.
mind.
You got to let it stretch,
Yeah.
as
Yep.
time goes on.
Yes.
Yeah.
adjust.
Adjust.
Yeah.
You
Give
know.
yourself time to adjust
Yeah.
around the girth. No,
the
didn't work.
The girth speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go straight to full speed. You got to.
These microphones are a nice girth.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Whenever I
They're
look
not
at.
quite Pringle can, but
I
yeah.
think they're a
whenever-
perfect
I think
girth,
they're a
actually.
perfect girth as
Mhm.
well. Like whenever I look at it, I'm like, oh,
Is that why you're always touching the mic?
I think so. I'm like, oh my god, my hand fits around it just right.
Is it like the perfect phalange?
What are they called?
No, I can't say it.
Philander. the
Phylactery?
Phylactery.
Yeah. It's the perfect size phylactery.
I just said it wrong, and then I couldn't say it right.
But you know what I mean?
Felix, yes. That
Yeah,
too.
even
I don't hate the length.
I mean,
If that's the girth, I don't hate the length.
with a point on it, I think I don't know. I mean, you're a short woman, so I think this is good.
You're my same height, so you tell me.
Yeah. I think I'm a little shorter than you are, right? Are you, how tall are you?
5'1.5".
For the
I'm 5
listeners,
feet
these microphones are about 4 inches long.
They're like your classic podcaster uniform. No,
Yeah.
this is a 5-inch. Let's measure. Pause. I'm pretty sure this is 5 inches.
I am not.
I don't know.
measuring
It
this
might be
microphone.
4.
I am not giving this microphone. This is a
I am
private
going
thing.
to. Okay,
This microphone
what
is-
we'll do is look at this in comparison to my phone, and then we'll look at the stats for an iPhone 13 Max Pro,
Okay.
and then we'll know. I'm almost certain that
All right.
this is like a 5-inch.
It looks 4 to me.
Yeah, it
1,
might be 4.
2, 3, 4. Fuck, I think you're right.
Yeah.
This not. This
So
not.
no, we do
never
not
mind.
accept this
Not
link.
accept
Nope.
this.
It was from the angle I was looking at it.
Yeah, it
I was
does look
looking
longer.
down,
You're like, oh yeah, no, I got that.
Yeah.
and then
Good.
from the side, no.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think it's just because it's so close to
Kate said, I think it's because it's so close to
my mouth. I'm just
yeah.
like, oh, look at that. That's a nice circumference.
Just right there.
That's a lovely radius
Would
right
you
there.
look at that?
Look at it.
So they flee across the desert.
Tell you a part I hate. I hate the imagery of sand in your eyes.
Oh my God, that was rough.
It was rough. I don't like it. It's like pirates.
The sand up the nose.
Yeah, just the sand.
Oh,
A
yeah.
sandstorm.
Sand.
Suffocating on sand sounds like one of the worst ways to be hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like having sand in your lungs.
Yeah.
And so that
was
part where
rough.
she like couldn't see for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Going through the desert feels a lot like pirates to me. I think it just feels like it just sucks so
I liked
bad.
it
Yeah.
because
It's not a cozy adventure. It's a
she
terrible-
She hurts herself for him for a long time in this book.
Yep.
She's getting like her eyes get abraded, like they get sand in them.
braided,
She gets like her
braided.
thigh slit open.
slit open.
She gets almost bit by a snake.
She gets her
Snakes everywhere.
ass sunburnt.
Yeah,
she gets super
stuck
sunburned.
naked.
It actually doesn't make sense that they are a desert kingdom and they're so pale.
Yeah.
I did think that was, it's like, even in worlds, even in an adjacent world, if your kingdom is in the desert, your
Your
skin
skin, is
tone
darker.
isn't going
Yeah,
to
that
be.
did take me out a little bit.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I was like, I get what you're doing. You're trying
She's
to like,
ivory.
Even if it was like an
and-
olive undertone, so you're more
Uh-huh.
likely
yeah,
to,
but she was like a
yeah.
white woman.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm Scottish and I live in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't stand one day in the sun without being blistered.
Which means that you are not, yeah, it doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. Like people who, yeah.
Yeah, because she ends up naked in the stocks because she steals some stuff.
Yeah, that part was.
And I was like,
I love that Aaron knew that they
okay.
were bad guys. Oh, also the part where she is, when she's got her arms tied up, and she lifts the thing up, but then like crashes over,
Yeah.
and her face is just like down in the sand, and she doesn't have the strength
She's
to
like,
lift
"Damn
up,
it."
and her face is just
Yeah.
plowed into the earth.
I was
that,
holding my breath.
That makes me really uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Yeah. She was like, God damn
I mean,
it."
that's a pretty creative
I
way
did
to
that.
almost die.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I could
Mhm.
like visualize and imagine that happening. And he's just like standing over her, like, great job. You did
Yeah.
so good.
Wow,
Right?
dumbass.
Yeah. Wow, dumbass.
Yeah. I don't really think this was another part that I was like, okay. When
Yeah.
he leaves that one boy alive,
Right.
he's like, well, I don't kill for no reason. Well,
He's a softie.
I know, but his entire kingdom, like, this is one boy or your entire kingdom. Like, you get to be a softie if you're like the king's champion. You don't get to be a softie if like you're the king.
You're the king.
I'm going to remember when you said that. I will bring this moment up.
Okay.
Again.
When?
Take
I'm
this
gonna
down.
Take it and I'm going to pack it away. And I'm going to be like, remember when you said.
Yeah, that's fine. Keep it in your
Remember
arsenal.
when you said.
Like, it
Rachel!
feel good, but it would
No. I get it. I
would
get
have
what you're
felt
saying.
in keeping with his like
And it comes
all
back
for
pretty.
Ithacana.
It comes back
immediately.
And something that's pretty cool about the following books too is that you get to see the spy networks kind of work. You're like, remember when you went to that one place? Well, that got back to the Empress down at Valcata because you didn't take care of that person. They told this, like, the spy networks really do work.
Yeah. Well, they're also intertwined.
Yep.
They're like they're like states.
And imagine if you didn't have social media or if you didn't have phones or anything, and you would just, your only form of communication is talking. Crazy.
Yeah.
Wild.
Insane. Insanity.
Is, yeah.
What if you don't like talking?
Yeah. Well, then you're not a spy.
No.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're the best spy.
Yeah. Maybe.
No one expects you to talk. You just listen.
You're a very good listener.
You're a good listener. Yeah. Active listening all the time. Hearing, like in Bridgerton.
Yeah.
No one pays attention to you because you're just a wallflower.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I there were a couple moments in this book where I was like, this is hard. I don't like it.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. Lots of injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's getting beat
and
up.
I'm not
this
gonna
whole
lie,
book.
I'm not a huge fan of how it ends.
I am okay with it because if it ended any sweeter, I would have been meh.
I needed an epilogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they're just together.
I needed an
Yeah.
epilogue.
Or it was like 6 months later.
Because and
Yeah.
I know she was
19 years
I know
later.
she was, or just a few days later, because
When she wakes back
you
up,
get
maybe.
you do get in the third and fourth book,
Mhm.
you get more of their story and what happened immediately afterwards. And there
Okay.
was no reason why that couldn't have been hinted in this book. Like, she dies,
Yeah.
dies.
Yeah.
And then comes back to, like, her body comes back to life. But
Yeah.
it wasn't easy for her after that either.
Yeah.
like,
she
she got-
sleeps for like
she-
3-4
And
days.
and her wounds got infected and she almost dies again.
Oh.
So she comes back, like, it ends with her being greeted and loved by Ithacana, right?
Yeah.
That's how it's like she has gotten Ithacana's love because the sharks didn't touch her.
Yeah.
Because the mythical creature sharks chose her and they believed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't take it like that. I didn't take it as she's being like loved and adored now. I just took it as
Accepted.
we will consider not killing you now. Like, that's how I...
Even worse of an ending. Not happy enough.
And she's like, all right, I'm going to go to the meeting with you. It's not happy enough. The ending is not happy enough.
And it's
No.
abrupt.
But
It is abrupt.
I was okay with it because it was more believable.
It felt, yeah. And it was abrupt. Yeah. I think an epilogue, or maybe like, because you do get more information. You just get it in another person's story. And that's okay. I really do think that you'll like. Have you read the third book?
Not at all.
Okay. I think you'll.
Yeah.
I like the brother. I like Karis a lot. Like, he's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I loved the tiny bit of Karis that we got
He's such a cool character.
in the
and
castle.
Yeah, I actually like him more than Aaron. He's definitely Laura's brother. Yeah, it's cool. The fourth one is fucking long, and I found myself getting really like, I'm tired of the political intrigue, and you guys, I was explaining it to Hannah, like,
Just get together.
well, not even that. It's like they thought this thing that they both wanted was impossible, and in my mind, I was like, it's not fucking impossible. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
Like, you guys think it's impossible, but it's not, because you get to decide.
Yeah.
And I was, it's like, as a reader, you know where the ending's going. You know where it's going. You know she's going to get you there. But the main characters are just dragging behind you.
Yeah. There's another book series I've read called The Imager Cycle, I think. And the magic system is super cool. Like, there's a certain group of people that anything they can envision becomes real.
That's really cool.
And it was a really cool power, and it got me through the first book. But by the second one, like, the main character becomes like the second hand of the king, and then he's involved in all the politics, and people are trying to kill him. And I was just like, I could not care less. Like, this is the worst use of this power. And I ended up having to just quit reading it because it was just so like I don't mind a little bit of politics. The first two here were just the right amount. Any more than this, and I'd be like, this is too much politics.
I'm going to read the third and fourth just because I do like these two books, and I should finish them.
She's a good writer. I feel like she presented the political stuff and like the trade stuff, which usually I'm like checked out. I don't care about economics. I don't care about real life economics. I sure as shit don't care about this economics.
Right.
What was the thing with the gems in the bottles? I'm sorry.
They were bribing, like some of the kingdoms were colluding and they were like bribing each other by using shipments, but they were like shipping it in wine. So it was like Maradrina has a lot of gems, but not a lot. They can't grow food.
They don't have weapons either.
And they don't have weapons or food. So they're like they're getting weapons now free because Lara is married to the king and they don't have to pay any kind of a tax on the weapons. But they still don't have, like, I don't know. It was just like, but we want other people on our side because we don't have enough sea power to take over Ithaca. I don't know.
Well,
that's when it got like, oh, I don't know. And then they did the whole part where they got to the island and there was like two people there and they were like, we surrender. And they're like, oh, that was really easy. We did such a good job.
Good job, guys.
Good job, everybody. And then someone's like, wait, I think there's something wrong here.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. And that's when I was like, okay, I really only care about the micro stuff as soon as it gets that complicated, I just check out of the top level plot that's happening. I'm like, I just care about where's Laura? What's she doing right now?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
She kills her dad.
She does.
Yeah, she like zip lines down.
She zip lines to the volcano
Yep.
city.
Yeah.
Herondale.
With a H. A
I
Herondale.
think it has an H.
Sure.
I can look up the map.
I hope so, because otherwise she named another fantasy city.
Arendelle.
I think it does. I'm going to look it up.
I was surprised it didn't have better security. It's where the entire country lives.
Yeah, but
It does have
nobody
pretty
knew
cool
where it
security,
was.
Yeah, but they have ship breakers.
It
And
was
the
the only reason they could get to them
What's a ship breaker?
is because of the information that
Catapult.
Laura.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah.
that flings rocks?
Yeah,
Neat.
like a catapult or a
Oh,
trebuchet.
we're stupid wrong. Arenal.
Aaron Hall.
Eranahal. Eranahal.
Oh, no.
Arenal?
Arenal.
It sounded like Arendelle.
Yeah, Aaron Hall.
in the
Arenal.
audiobook.
It
Yeah.
sounds like Otterland.
Otterland.
Yeah. I don't know.
Amarid and no, there is a Herondale. It's a country.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Herondale.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's too close.
But Aaron Hall.
Aaron-
Arenale and Arendelle?
Aaron Hall and Herondale.
Oh.
When you look at the words written, they're not far apart. They're far apart. They're not.
But when you hear them in the audiobook,
Yeah.
they sound the same.
Yeah.
I kept being like, I don't know. I think that's the city.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. What are the characters doing? Are there snakes? I don't give a shit. Oh, she's back on the bridge. Okay, great. Like, that's basically my thought process.
Snake
with this
Island
whole
is
thing.
freaky, right?
Yeah, Snake Island is crazy. I
Yeah.
don't like it.
I don't like it at
They
all.
just stare at you. This is a snake.
I'm a
I know.
snake.
I'm a
snake.
I love how we did it earlier. He's like, I'm going to do this to prove myself to Lara so that we could later have her go back and be like, I know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, thank God he took me here and he had to make sure he had to show me how big his dick was. Because
Yeah, he was
now I know
really
what to do.
egotistical in that moment. But at the same time, maybe he was just a man that wanted to nostalgically do it, prove itself. Maybe he was doing it for himself and not for her.
Yeah.
Because I think she'd already seen his penis at that point, right?
I don't know. It was to show the reader how to do that so
Yeah.
that she could do it later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is that in the first book?
it is.
And she does it in the second book.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah,
It was fun.
it did great.
But yeah, then she zip lines to the volcano.
Yeah,
She kills her father. She challenges her father,
yeah.
kills him. And the storms are rolling in. So it's about to be end of war tides anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like they're up against it's tides.
I know.
tides.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because everybody wants that. I did like how she thinks through things because she's like, wait, there's a storm rolling in. All these other countries are sailing away, but the Maradrina ships are still here. Why are they so loyal? There's literally no reason they would not be leaving right now.
Right.
So why are they not leaving? Then she's like, oh shit, my father is on one of those. Like
And
they
that's how
would
she
only
figured
be
it
like
out.
this because my dad's here.
Yeah.
And that's how she figures it out. I was like, oh, that's really, I get that. Thank you. Like,
So they weren't leaving because Dad was there?
yeah, because they literally, their
couldn't-
king was there.
So they're not going to take the chance to go on the storm. And
Right.
that's what she put together.
No, they're loyal right now because he's watching. It's like the cat's
Like
there.
stand your ground.
So the
Yeah.
mouse can't play. Like they
Yeah.
have to stand their ground because he'll know.
Yeah.
They can't be like, well, it was overwhelming odds. He's going to be like, no, I was right there.
I was there. You had plenty of
I
time.
was there.
Yeah.
You were there. Sorry. I remember it. Fine. Just
Yeah.
Fine.
It's fine.
fine.
She's like bleeding out through her thigh for a really long time. Like,
Yeah.
To the point
She
where she
basically
almost
chums
dies.
the
Yeah.
water herself.
And they don't,
Yeah.
the sharks don't come get her because they're majestical, magical beings. And
Yeah.
that is
That's
why the book's
fantasy.
okay.
yeah.
Because the sharks
that
didn't go.
those sharks saved
The
this
sharks
book.
having the cognition?
Yeah. The consciousness.
Consciousness.
Yeah.
that she's not
To,
in her heart a traitor.
Yeah.
yeah. She is therefore Ithacana.
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 Every time they said it in the book.
Ithacana.
Even at 2.7, you could hear him go, Ithacana.
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 Volcata. Sorry, he says that a lot in the fourth book. And
Yeah.
Volcata.
More sounds.
Yeah. But yeah. So then she kills her dad, jumps out of the boat, swims in, gets caught in a portcullis. I hate those. And let me tell you why. Because they're in everything.
They're in everything.
They're in everything.
Yeah,
and
because they're like
nev-
standard
never
bridge.
fucking remember what they are.
Standard gate.
Like gate. It's just
Yeah.
a gate. It's just a gate with lines that come down.
Yeah.
The
And it
portcullis.
lifts up.
And they're not always in water.
No.
They're just the gate.
It's a gate.
In
Yeah.
any medieval anything.
but it's a
Yeah.
raisy
there's
gate.
a portcullis. There's another word that I also don't really like. That means it's a piece of armor that you wear. A
Vanguard?
Is that a piece of armor? No,
Maybe.
I don't think that's what
Van
it
brace?
is. Van brace. It's Van brace.
Van brace.
Like, what the fuck is it? Shut up! I don't like you, Van brace.
Yeah, when they've just Googled something and you're like, no.
No, I mean, and a Van brace
No.
is like literally a part of armor that I think it's like it goes on your arm or it goes somewhere. Let me look it
Yeah.
up. But I have to look it up every time. I can never remember. And now
Yeah.
hopefully I will never forget and it will not, it
You'll
won't-
never forget.
because I've
Yeah.
spoken it, it will no longer be an issue.
Yeah, this was where her world building is great. I don't really have a problem with it. But this was another one where I was like, okay, we can build the bridge, this engineering marvel that spans like the ocean between countries, but we only have like the elbow part.
the
Yeah.
elbow.
Yeah, but we only have like a creaky wooden gate on our major city where our entire country lives.
Yeah, one wall portcullis. But isn't it sometimes underwater? So like
It goes underwater, like it blocks off the whole entrance.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also, like you built. Look at the bridge. Like you built the bridge. You couldn't build a second.
No, because they spent all their time building the bridge. They're done.
Fine. It's
They're tapped
fine.
out.
yeah.
It's fine. It was fine. I didn't really like when I was reading the book. I wasn't like, what? Wait a minute. Why don't they have better defenses? I was just like, oh no, I hope everybody's okay. And, like,
yeah. You weren't like stuck on it. Yeah.
No, I was. But when looking back, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. If you're going to go to the effort of looking up Van brace and using it correctly in a sentence, you can look up some like fortification technology from the Middle Ages and throw that in there.
She doesn't use Van brace.
Does she not? She uses there's a couple terms where I was
Van
like,
brace are the things that go on your forearm, and they get talked a lot about in other. They're like everybody's got.
yeah. I know they wear a lot of leather. And I was like, that's an interesting choice for a tropical, like,
Yeah.
But doesn't it
jungle
get
country.
cold there?
I don't think so.
Leather is the smartest fabric for fighting.
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 Yeah.
Because it's like
hiding.
armor.
Yeah.
Right. But
It is an animal skin.
but it's humid. Like Laura talks about how humid it is.
Yeah,
That
just
she's used to the
imagine
heat,
how-
but not the.
How much ball sweat they have.
That's
Well,
a
there's
lot of ball
sweat. They
sweat.
sweat a
So
lot in this book
much.
too. Like there's
Ugh.
always sweat dripping.
Sweat
Which is why they
running
take
down.
baths a lot, which is
Yeah.
good. So
I do
feel,
like the baths.
So I didn't feel like everybody smelled like ball sweat.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time.
So yeah, she dies. She drowns.
She drowns, but
he
she
brings
does,
her up and does CPR. Breathe,
She
damn it!
gets better.
and she opens her eyes,
Yeah.
and then like it fades to black, and she wakes up a few days later.
Mm-hmm.
But she got really hurt.
But the bottom line is, her and Aaron love each other.
It is. It's a romance,
They
is.
love
and they end up
each other.
together. So it is
Yeah.
a happy romantic story, political, Earth adjacent medieval story.
Midgard.
And her arc back from
Midgardian
traitor,
adjacent. Sorry.
her arc back from traitor to queen is believable.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
works for it.
Yeah.
Almost a little too much where you're like,
Yeah.
girl, you're going to cut an arm off and give it to him next? What the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
just,
you're literally-
in
she
those
was
kind
like-
of stakes, it kind of has to look like that.
She was
Yeah.
very
you know?
like, it's time for me to die. My life means nothing, so
Yeah.
I'll just zipline
Always
myself
the-
into the volcano.
always gonna sacrifice themselves.
yeah.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
that's what she did from the first chapter where we first meet her.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will be the queen. I will sacrifice
Yeah.
Will sacrifice
and marry that handsome motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am going to take one for the team.
What does he
I
look
will be the
like?
queen.
What does he look like?
He looks like
Well, isn't every book boyfriend Henry Cavill in a different wig?
No, not in my world.
all right.
Not in my world.
I kind of,
Maybe he's more Tom Ellis.
he's tan. He's very
Yeah,
tan.
he's brown. Isn't he a brown
I
man?
see like, Coquitlam from Pocahontas.
Nope.
Mm.
Ooh, yeah, actually, yeah. Okay.
But I mean not the hair, but I think like longish hair. Doesn't he have like
I don't think we
Did I
discussed
make that
it.
up?
I think he has short hair.
Yeah.
he has my
She's
length.
sparing in her descriptions.
So that we can insert our own
Yeah.
and connect to the characters more. That was part of that. Did you watch the thing that I sent today?
Part of it.
Gosh, guys, do I need to teach you how to speed the videos up?
I took
You
TikTok
did.
off my phone.
Why?
Why? Because I kept getting notifications that it was using the battery and I wasn't even using it.
Oh, your phone tells you that?
Yeah.
Weird.
Wow.
Interesting.
And I was like, what are you doing, TikTok?
Rachel doesn't use an iPhone, guys. She's a green,
Yeah,
which is fine because she's probably smarter than us, but whatever.
for sure.
100% smarter.
Definitely.
She tells us how our phone is inferior constantly.
I do not.
And
I
we
do not
don't
make fun of your
care.
All the
phones.
time. All the time.
I do not judge you for your phone.
All the time.
I am constantly judged for my phone.
I'm not judging you for your phone.
That's
I
true.
just know that when I text Hannah, it's a handshake. And when I text you, it's a piece of paper being balled up and thrown across the sea.
Because iPhone uses the oldest
technology
possible for
Right.
sending messages. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well,
They use the same one they
hopefully
used when they had
the
beepers.
government is going to regulate. Oh, SMS.
Yeah.
I think they've updated though. Like, I don't think that's the text messages anymore.
I don't
I'm
know.
getting a message. When are you coming to pick up your damn dog? Sorry, my dog's at doggy daycare.
Well, that wraps up the Bridge Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we read these.
I
thought it was
think
fun.
It was a good segue from cozy back to fantasy. And now we can go,
Nope,
nope,
politics.
back to it was a
Political
segue.
romance.
It was a
Yeah,
midway
yeah.
step. It was
What's
a
next?
bridge, one
What's
might
next?
say.
It was a bridge.
It was
a
a
bridge.
bridge.
It was
Yeah.
a bridge.
They were good. They were fine. They were great. They were good. They weren't like challenging.
No. Yeah.
Well, I think we said we were going to do Twilight next. I think it was Bridge and then Twilight.
I'm not saying
Because
anything ever
Hannah-
again.
No,
Hannah was
Hannah,
doing
that isn't
her-
how the world works.
Because
You get
Hannah
to-
was like,
it's
I
how
think we
mine
should read
was.
Twilight. Every time we ask, she says
I
Twilight,
wasn't the
so
one that first brought up Twilight. I did not bring it up
you.
first.
think we would have so much fucking fun with Twilight.
Wait,
Right.
if we read Twilight, do we
I
get to
just
read
agreed.
and republish on the Patreon the original, the OG Twilight fanfic written by Rachel.
My poem?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want.
It can be Patreon.
The first Twilight fanfiction on fanfiction.net.
Yeah.
My one claim to fame. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right, Twilight is a long series. It is 5 books.
It's 4.
Yeah, but
4 books?
there's 4. There's just the last movie was 2 parts.
4 books.
There's only 4 books.
Oh, okay.
It's not like
So
a
is
long
that
series is unprecedented.
Yeah, I know. I was just
Okay.
trying to keep you away from that.
Oh, no, it's
Trying
fine.
to be protective of you.
It's okay.
You guys know what happened yesterday? 2 days ago?
What?
What came out 2 days ago? What did we learn 2 days ago?
I don't even know what day it is.
In the
Oh, Onyx Storm, the new Old Spice scent.
Yeah. Is that an Old Spice scent?
No, but it sounds like
it.
like one.
Onyx Storm.
The
the Fourth
third
Wing girlies
Fourth Wing,
are
yeah.
losing their minds because January 21st of 2025, Onyx Storm, the 3rd book in the Imperium series.
Yeah. So it'll be
will
Fourth Wing, Iron Storm, and then
Iron Flame, and then Onyx Storm.
Yeah,
So I guess we know what we're reading in February.
that was my first thought. Was like,
Storm.
oh, that sounds like an Old Spice scent.
What do you,
For sure.
you know what do you know what my Old Spice scent is called? Wolf Thorn.
Wolf Thorn. See,
And do you know what it smells like? Gentle Viking flowers.
nice.
Been wearing it for like a decade.
Love that.
It smells so good. It's so feminine. Pairs well with my Le Labo. But just real just like off the top of our heads, what do we think Onyx Storm is referencing? What do we think when we hear that?
Her dragon, isn't her dragon a black dragon?
I mean, one of them is Taryn's a black dragon.
Yeah, and the other one
and
is whatever.
Darna is a whatever.
She's an iridescent little queen.
Yeah.
Little
she-
cutie. She whatever color she
She can
wants
become
to.
a black dragon.
Yeah. Onyx also references the color of Xaden's eyes.
But also, I'm terrified that Taryn is going to die soon.
I don't think he'll die till late. But I do think one of her dragons dies.
I mean, it just is inevitable.
It is inevitable.
I just hope it makes sense,
Right.
We'll
and
see.
it's not like
Yeah. I mean,
Great.
maybe not. But yeah,
we'll find out.
I think that
She's giving herself more time.
Yep, and I think
Yes.
that they are
excited about that
Yeah.
timeline.
Yes, because we went from April to November with the first 2.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I am saying this here first. I think we will also get an ACOTAR book that month.
Okay. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
I am putting money that we will get a release date for ACOTAR 6.
Yeah, I bet it's the week before.
She drops books in January a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And House of Flame and Shadow came out the 31st.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know how Red Tower and Bloomsbury, I mean, they really will have to work around each other.
Mm-hmm.
Their audiences are the same.
Yeah.
So
Work together, people.
what would you read first? Rachel goes first.
Like, is this a question?
Would you, Rachel, which sequel to those books would call to you? Which book would you have to read first?
If I had to read one,
Which you'll have to read both, so just
Probably
emotionally
do.
prepare now.
probably the ACOTAR series because I've got more in it.
She loves it. She loves it. She
She loves it so much.
If it's Asriel, I'm here for it.
Right.
Like, okay.
Yes.
But I was not so in love with Iron Flame that I need to rush off and read the
you're not
next
going to
one.
binge it.
I'm like, oh, who's going to be lying to Violet this time when we're going to be mad about it for 60 chapters?
Yeah.
Well, and I'm hoping that they are going to fix some of that.
Yeah. And the 6 + 1 and 7, my God, I can't
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
I'm a dragon rider, not a mathematician.
What do you want me to be, a physicist? Yeah.
a beautiful mind over here. Like,
Yeah. How about you?
ACOTAR.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
My friend Caitlin, I will mention her by name. She doesn't listen. I told her to. She has very similar thoughts to you on Throne of Glass. She's going through Throne of Glass. So she texts me every day and she says all this funny stuff. And
Like, ooh,
I was
I
like,
love kale.
you really listen to the pod because you and Rachel feel very similar. She's like, she only liked 2 of the Akatar books. She only liked Mist and Fury and Wings and Ruin. She hates Nesta, which is a very contentious thing between the 2 of us. But the TikTok I sent today, that resonated with me so much because she was talking about how what'd she call him? Old white man fantasy?
Yeah.
Like Philip Rothfuss and George R. Martin. They're so descriptive and the writing is so good that there's no room for you to fill in the blanks.
Fill your own stuff in.
But one of the things about Sarah's is that there's so much room for you to fill in things. So
and make it your own.
make it your own. So that's why we get so emotionally connected.
Yeah.
So if Nesta is the bully that you know, then that you hate
or
her
if
forever.
Nesta is you.
Or you don't hate her, you forgive her and you love her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that makes way more sense why there's so many assholes out there. Just kidding. Everybody gets to say. Everyone's feelings are valid.
Everyone's feelings are
Don't
valid.
have to
Yeah.
like Nesta.
I have been plugging our podcasts on Threads. Like I've been really busy on Threads.
Oh, good.
And so every time somebody's like, guys, this might be controversial, but I feel this way about a Sarah J. Maas book, I'm like, oh my God, I did too. And I have a whole podcast about it.
yeah.
Like because I think the thing that we have that I love most is that I don't always agree or we don't always agree. And that's like, we can have a discussion about it.
right.
Yeah.
And we aren't just like an
Canceling
echo
each
chamber.
other.
Yeah.
I
and
need those
Yeah.
cards. I need our business cards. Because
Oh.
I saw a girl at the zoo the other day with a Valaris t-shirt.
Did you say something
And I
to
was
her?
wearing my Hunt Athalar
Did you guys have a
sweatshirt.
moment?
And I said, I like your shirt. And she was like, oh, thanks. I just got into it. Like I just finished
She
Akatar
didn't
and
know shit.
I've just started Throne of Glass. And I was like, but we were like passing each other in line.
So you couldn't say
So I
like,
couldn't be like, look up this podcast.
Yeah.
or you couldn't be like, well, my shirt is from Crescent City.
Well, you don't know nothing about this Hunt Athalar then, do you?
The Umbra Mortis.
It's the
Yeah.
Umbra Mortis.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get
That's
a lot
good.
of compliments on this from people that don't know what it says. They
Yeah.
just think it's a cool looking
Sweatshirt.
Sweatshirt. Yeah.
I think it is nice that we offer both perspectives.
Yeah, but the one that I was specifically referencing was a lady was like, guys, I don't like more. Does anybody else not like more? And I popped up and I was like, well, I hate more, but like maybe here's why. And it was fun because it led to
Yeah.
a really interesting discussion of like, I think Sarah lets you bring a lot of yourself to the table. And so if that's how you like to engage with that type of thing, then
Yeah.
it
And
does leave a lot of room for discussion.
I didn't realize how much room she was leaving either until I really thought about it today. And I was like, wow, this is
That's
so
such a good
spot
point.
on. She leaves so much room for us to insert our own connections and thoughts and theories. And I love it. Somebody in the comments of that was like, yeah, Sarah J. Maas is not putting in the time that the fan theorists are.
No.
Like, they know her worlds way better, and she's just not, you know? And, yeah, I just thought it was really fascinating because it allows me to go, oh, someone not liking Nesta is more of a projection of them than it is of them being dumb.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're
I'm just
on. It's like,
kidding. No one's
Just
dumb.
kidding.
Just kidding. No one's
but
dumb.
I mean, that really, because I just recently had to do a deep dive into my own psyche and why I hate Elaine so much. You know, I just
Yeah.
I just reread Silver Flames and I'm like, what is it about her? Why do you,
Well, they really
unpack
are.
this.
They really
Yeah.
are fight, fawn, and flight. Like, Farrah gets out of the house. She goes and fixes things. Nesta becomes like aggressive. And that's the thing. I think that when someone hates Nesta, to me, it's a woman that's very, very uncomfortable with anger, who is still under this guise that anger is not feminine. It is not kind. You cannot be angry.
Yeah.
And when I hear someone say, like, I hate her, she's a narcissist, and leaves no room for Oh, I thought I saw.
It's a moth. He's
Oh,
over there.
okay. I thought it was. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was.
It's a moth.
But leaves no room for, like, she's not a narcissist. She's just a very hurt, broken person who has no idea how to manage her own feelings or emotions. She was raised to be an asshole by an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
She was raised to be egotistical and think she was better than everyone. So she has no idea how to love or connect. And so she acts like an asshole.
Yeah.
Until she doesn't.
Yeah.
And she wants to be better. And that it's the lack of grace and like not giving her the room to become someone different. But that's also why she can't connect with her family and has to go make her own friends. Right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, I will honestly say my sister and I had to go make our own friends because we were never going to find that with each other. Because we know you become, that trauma trigger becomes so ingrained in your connection and relationship. It's almost like you can't be who you want to be when someone is, everything that you do is a part of what they don't like about themselves. Or, you know, like Pharaoh was a reminder of Nesta of everything she hated about herself.
All of her failures.
All of her failures, the way that she wasn't there for her. But no one ever talks about the fact she left. She left to go find Farrah.
She sure did. She tried.
Fucking left.
Yeah.
No one ever talks about that. Like, oh, she's a narcissist? No, she
Really?
went,
Would a narcissist go out into that woods when she's never been in her entire life?
Not to mention this, like, predisposed magical resistance that she has. Yeah, that moth is thriving over there in that corner.
Yeah.
Stay by the light.
But yeah, anyways, just not to get on my Nesta high horse. I just have a hard time when I hear the vitriol because I don't ever feel vitriol for anybody, ever,
I rarely do.
except Elaine.
Except Elaine. I just don't think she
Is it her
deserves Asriel.
softness?
I think so. It's her. She feels weak to me.
Because she's soft and feminine?
No, because she's checked out.
Because
Everybody else is putting their lives on the line, and she's like, cool.
But she was never given an opportunity to either. And that's one of the complex things about her. She was coddled by her sisters.
I feel
Pharaoh
like
was completely okay with Elaine doing nothing. Nesta went out of her way to make sure Elaine never had to do anything. Because she was the most beautiful, the most soft, the most kind, the most everything. And so everybody protected her and never gave her any kind of agency. And now that she's hanging out here with these wraiths, and like she is starting to show a semblance of like nuance and personality in a way. Like when she just straight up laughed at Nesta being like, fuck you.
Yeah. She finally starts to show like some personality in Silver Flames. But to me, I always thought that Elaine was too stupid to care about Farrah and her going out. Whereas I thought Nesta was too mean to care. Elaine was too stupid to care. It's like something that Farrah said when she would come home from her long hunts and no one would even notice. You know who she reminds me of? You know Ever After, the Drew Barrymore Cinderella movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sister?
The dark-haired sister.
Yeah.
The
one that ends
It's
up,
like
the one that ends
you're
up being
nice.
good?
Yeah, you're nice, but you're not nice enough to take a stand.
You're complicit.
You're complicit.
Yeah.
You stood by and let all this stuff happen to me, but you can benefit from being the nice one that I talk to. And
yeah. I think there's some I think that, if I only ever met your sisters from your perspective, I would have a very clear idea of who they were from Hannah. But if I got to know you and your other sister from like Megan, it would be a very different sisters.
Yeah.
And I think that because we got 3 whole books with Farrah from first person, we had very clear understandings of who these characters were. And I think that people aren't ready. It's just like you always want the first romance that you experience to be the end game, right? Like Xaden has to be the end game. Like Tamlin not being end game was what was novel about it.
Yeah.
Right? And so you cling. I think that people really are loyal and really tuned in to Farrah's perspective of her sisters, to the point where we get these other perspectives. They're like, you mean Rhys isn't the most handsome, gentlemanly High Lord? What do you mean he's an asshole? Like, what do you mean Nesta is, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I see that happen a lot when we have these perspective shifts, when people have those really strong feelings about it.
I suggest we rename the podcast 3 Women Discussing Books that ultimately lead back to a Sarah J. Maas book.
No, this was good. This was
think
a
that's a little
character
long?
discussion.
It's a little long. I'll try to think
We
of
can
some way to shorten
abbreviate
it.
We can
Yeah.
just, like ACOTAR, we can just do whatever
A court
the
of,
anagram.
yeah, I don't know.
A court of probably going to talk about Sarah J. Maas.
We're probably gonna.
Yeah.
Well, it's just because she's our starting place.
Yeah, it's good. We read a lot of her books. We can relate
Yeah.
a lot
I
of
just
stuff
really
back
like
to her.
That's
that
why sometimes
perspective about us filling in the holes ourselves. And
Yeah.
that's why so many
people
people
become so emotionally attached.
we're so
and
emotionally
feel so
because it's a part of
strongly
us.
About it's a part of who you are. I have no qualms identifying.
If we do Twilight, can we do a tandem read with Twilight and Midnight Sun?
Sure.
Is that the book from?
Midnight Sun is
Edward's
from Edward's
perspective.
point of view.
Do I have to have the physical copies to do that?
I'm not sure.
I mean, I can just get them on
You
Libby.
could probably
I
just read
think.
one and then read the next one. I don't know
I
if
can
you need
do
to
it on Kindle.
I don't know if
think.
anybody has an organized tandem
Oh.
read. I'll look it up for us.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure there is.
Is there bookmarks like? Something,
Let's look it up because
something
if there
that-
is, I would love to do that because
Yeah.
it sounds ridiculous.
I would
Yeah,
really
it
love
would be
to.
ridiculous.
I would
Yeah.
really, really, really the Stormlight Archive, but I know that is a lot and not.
Well, if we're
going to
do Name of the Wind, then Stormlight Archive is.
Yeah, but Stormlight Archive is 4,000 page books, which
Ooh,
if you've not read them, you would love them.
yeah.
Matt
It's-
really liked them.
They're so freaking good, and I really, really love that universe. And I've really had a good time getting back into it. And it makes me sad that the dedication and organization power of the Mass fans and the Iron Flame, just the fantasy fangirls, the fantasy girls, the way that they will make PDFs that are stunningly aesthetic and beautiful. And like, I need them to do that for the Stormlight Archive because all of the stuff I've seen is just boy stuff.
Oh yeah. Put that out there in the universe.
I
Make
just
a
want-
TikTok
I
about
want-
it.
No one's going to listen.
I will.
Thank
I can't do anything
Every time
about
he
it,
has
but
a Kickstarter, he raises like
Millions of dollars. And there are a lot of people who love those books.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just not looking in the right places because I keep going on Reddit. I keep trying to find I want the study guide that is a breakdown of all the, there's like a million different things.
Yeah.
And I've seen the Mass girlies put together these just like stunning PDFs.
I
or-
want that for Brandon
I
Sanderson.
want that. I want him to have the
Yeah.
power of a well-organized woman that loves his
yes.
right? And there probably are. I just don't know. So if you know of one, somebody send it to me. You can find me on TikTok at Fishy Shatter. At Fishy Shatter.
Fishy Shatter.
Fishy Shatter.
Yeah. Feels like a good place to end it.
All right.
Okay, see ya.
Until next time, friends.
Bye.
Bye.
Is it hot in here or is it just me? Tuning in to hear these 3 chatting about fantasy novels of the spicy variety. Not your average book club, if you know what I mean. Are you happy to see us? Or is that a dagger? It's feast, sheath, shatter.